we have a new presidente. Oh wow, the world's gonna come to an end. He's gonna grab that pussy and he's gonna rip it out of the fucking crotch of our enemies. I am Cruise Control.
I am Maxwell Silverhammer.
And this is the Nothing Sacred Show for the 22nd of January.
Did you say December?
No, I didn't know. Shut up. I wasn't going to say December.
December, yeah.
January 2017. This is the Nothing Sacred Show. Cruise Control, Maxwell Silverhammer here with you, rocking on as we always do.
Kraken might
join us if his busy schedule permits it. He's on there, so we'll see. We'll see if he just pops in. I don't know. We'll have to see.
All right.
So we have a new president. We'll talk about a bunch of that shit later on, because we need to talk about how the women's were for equal rights. Yeah, like they don't have them already.
Yeah,
so we can go into that, and then we can talk about the protest, the people breaking shit in Washington D.C. in the streets.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the way you handle this shit. That's the mature way of handling all this shit, dude.
I don't like the president I got.
Yeah, we need to repeal. People were wrong to vote. We need to get it taken back. Well, half the population. No, he didn't. Yes, actually, they did. The Electoral College worked the way it was supposed to. He's the president, so let him fuck everything up, or not. The way he does.
Well, even if it did, I mean, it's kind of like going back to the all the. What do you call it? Republicans didn't get mad when Obama got in office.
Well, they did. I mean, they did, but they didn't do this kind of shit because they didn't feel entitled.
They act up and act stupid,
Yeah, I mean, what really gets me is, and I think it's just funny how like these people will not bend regardless. Like let's say Trump does something that almost everybody wants. I mentioned this before, but let's say he goes out and we get term limits. Holy shit, term limits! Hot damn. Ooh. Term limits for Congress. What a great thing that 90% of people go, hey, that's fantastic. These motherfuckers, they're going to go, they're not going to go, that's fucking amazing. They're going to go, well, he still said grab him by the pussy. He still said that. Yeah, he said something in jest around people that he didn't think were filming him, so he was being a fucking jockey dude, whatever.
Actually,
I mean,
it's kind of funny, too, because I don't know if you saw my post on Friday. Because, dude, I was getting sick of seeing all the, oh, fuck, can this day end? Can we just end, blow up the
Earth? Oh, God, it was awful. Yeah, it was just, oh, my God. And look at compared to Obama's inauguration, how many people came. Yeah, well, so what? That's kind of like, it's so petty, half of it. It's so childish. And that's kind of the thing that's been getting me about all this shit. Everyone's so fucking childish now. It's like, God. Well,
and they're so worked up over nothing. And I'm just like, man, dude, Trump. This is just Trump. He's like a Kardashian, I mean, he's just kind of a face, what I'm saying?
It's kind of inevitable. We made a celebrity a president, which is, it's the way it's the way our system works. And Obama was kind of like that too. He's kind of like, hey, I'm a celebrity. I'm cool. Yeah.
Well, that's all he was, man. Yeah. I mean, he didn't really do much except for fucking Obamacare, I guess. But I don't know if that was all him. I think that was like his.
Well, no, that was his big thing. His big thing that's failed miserably and caused rates to go up by a ton of people. I don't know many people that really like Obamacare. I mean,
dude, even the people that are like broke motherfuckers, they hate it, dude. Because now they're being forced to buy health insurance that they couldn't afford to begin with.
Yeah, it's wonky, wanky, jankety.
Yeah,
but yeah,
exactly.
So we'll go into a little bit of that. Maybe we'll wait a little while, see if the Kraken gets on here. But what's going on with you? What's the first thing on your mind this week, Maxwell? What do you got cooking in your brain?
Let me tell you, man. There's a few things, but no, the one thing that's actually really kind of been pissing me off is, dude, I've had a week of fucking just blow-offs, dude. Like people don't return emails or phone calls or texts or. Just really, and a lot of the shit's time-sensitive stuff, like at work or whatever. You write somebody about, a certain event, and you're like, hey, I need to know if we can do this event or not. Please let me know. Mm-hmm. And, of course, they don't fucking bother writing you back, but yet they can, ram you every day on Facebook because one of the people's actually on my Facebook page, and they're always tagging me in these posts and promoting their bullshit. So they can send out those promotional emails and slam the shit out of you on that. But then when it comes to, like actually getting back, because here's the thing, dude. Here's why I think people's follow-up is for shit. I think there's like a corporate culture, that people want to look corp. They want to look like they're so high the bossy. and they're really not, dude. They're just fucking. It's the image. It's easier to look like a CEO, like you're making $1 million, when you're not really getting off your ass to do the work to make.
So you saw the person like dicking around on Facebook. So you saw this person dicking around on Facebook, but they wouldn't return.
They always tag me and shit all the time.
Would, so they're obviously active on that, but they wouldn't actually reply to an email that you sent them.
Right, exactly. So, they're tagging, we're down here at fucking...
Well, they're definitely not stealth,
yeah, exactly. It's like, or, they're sending out shit about I got a couple of emails from them, too, about the breakfast this week, and then there's a mixer next week, and just all kinds of other stuff. But they have this other event that they're going to be doing in March, which is a health fair, and it's pretty big, it's pretty mage, and the last couple times they've let us participate. But last time when I asked her, I was like, hey, so are we good for the thing in March? And she was like, oh, well, I got to talk to you about that. And I'm thinking, well, then talk to me about it. You know what I'm saying? And this was at an event, at one of the breakfasts when she said that. So I'm like, well, then talk to me. Don't fucking,
talk to me.
Talk to
like
me
lovers
fuck faces do.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I think there's a corporate. This is why people don't. Because you gotta know, man. Follow up is just shit now, man. Like people just blow you off, and then they hide behind the excuse of, well, I was busy. I've been so busy.
Well, yeah, you've always had that problem. You hate that problem because if you're busy, then why are you posting all this shit on Facebook? Why don't you just write?
And that's the other fucked up shit. It's like. Okay, back in the day when people would claim they're busy, I had to take their word for it. It might piss me off, and like you said, I hate it. But now I can actually see that you are not busy.
Or maybe they're busy on Facebook and can't reply to you. That's why they're busy, because they're like, see, I was busy.
Actually, I didn't write them on Facebook. I emailed them.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, but they're busy on Facebook, so they can't write you back.
Yeah. Well, I've always hated, that, man. I've always hated the back burner bullshit, That's always been a big point of contention with me. Because I figure, where's professional courtesy?
When you're busy, I mean, you can't be courteous. You're too busy to be courteous.
Right, because you're such a CEO, and you're moving and shaking, right?
Shaking. You're a mover and a shaker. You're moving
and shaking, bro. You're in high demand. You're not making any money, but that's beside the point. To actually make money and get off your fucking fat ass and do some shit, would actually require some effort. Which obviously they're not doing, So I don't know. I guess you don't run across this shit as much as I do, huh?
No, well, it depends. In certain ways, I do actually. It's been hectic, or that's definitely a very common. My thing is, it's not really I'm busy, but it's just like a reason for being an asshole, a reason for being a dick or a rude, or I've just been so stressed lately. So yeah, that's called humanity. It's called humanity, so stop being rude and stop being a dick. Everyone's stressed. Everyone gets stressed, so we all get stressed. I understand. I can understand it, and but it's not like a reason. Half the time they don't even apologize either. It's like, oh, I'm so stressed. Well, then apologize for not being able to handle your life. And
you got exactly. You got to deal with it. And for a lot of these people too, I love this, which really they could avoid me at a lot of these events. Like if they've been blowing me off. I'm not going to see them and walk over to them and be like, hey, motherfucker, why didn't you, So, but a lot of them will make it a point to come over to me and be like, hey, I haven't forgot about you. I'm just like, man, what's the point? Why
you haven't forgotten? Just give me a call for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it's going to take 5 minutes to push us down. No, I can't. I can do this event. No, I cannot do this event. Okay, well, now I know. Now you don't. Now I won't bug you any longer.
Exactly. Just give me an answer and I'll go away.
Because that's another thing that happens. Like, he's just calling me again. Yeah, because you haven't fucking answered this question. So if you answer this question, he won't call you again.
Yeah, I'll stay away. I'll leave you alone.
Fuck's your problem?
And then, or were they trying to save my feelings? Like they're afraid to tell me. Like I don't give a shit. I understand what what the deal is. If you say no, you say no.
I don't know. It's weird like that. Like people are. Well, that's the thing. It's another game of excuses and reasons for not doing something. It can't just be that you fucked up. You can't just fuck up anymore. It's got to be some reason. It's either a patriarchy or somebody
white man
or just stress or just I've been so busy and people throwing things at me and I just can't handle it. And it's like, it's nothing. I mean, which is kind of funny because in a way they're admitting that they can't handle their lives. I can't handle my life, so that's why I can't get shit done. But they won't say that. Oh, how could you say that I can't handle? Well, you obviously are stressed and it's causing you to fuck up. So Maybe you should try to figure shit out and not, and then apologize for fucking up and then manage your fucking life like adults do.
Exactly. Well,
instead of blaming shit on other things.
But a lot of this too, this isn't even on a personal level. This is like, work related, like I said, work related stuff. So it's like, wow, you can't even return a fucking email. Like how unprofessional can you be? And like you said, they can't handle their life. They can't handle their job. It's like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing this job if you're so overwhelmed and so stressed and, so busy all the time. So, swamped. That's the word they all use.
Yeah, I'm so swamped. I've got 50 million things to do. 50 million.
I've been swamped. Like, come on, dude. You don't have to chase your dinner down and kill it. You don't have to build a shack for the night.
Yeah, take the shelter. 5 minutes while you're on that you're taking that Facebook message and just write on your phone, hey, I will call you at this time, or let's set up a time to call, contact, and then go from there.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just funny. It just seems like in the time of all this technology and ways to communicate, and people are less communicative now. It's kind of a weird fucking thing.
That's strange. Less communicative. Yeah, that's the way, of course, because they think that communication is when your standard of communication is sending a text message or a blip on Twitter or a Facebook post, then your standard of obviously, well, I am communicating. So like a lot more communication, that's just too much. Like now emails are too much.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, okay, well then, at least give me an answer. If somebody inquires about something, you respond back. That's what you do. That's part of your job.
Oh, I understand that. I'm going to inquire about something too. I'm going to do a first for me. I'm going to go take a piss. I have to piss pretty badly. So we'll be back.
Oh, you going to pause it?
I'm going to pause it for just a few minutes here, and then we'll be back in a second. Okay? So you won't notice a difference, but I'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So how'd it come out, man? Was it great?
That started out as a piss, and then it went to a shit. See, here's the thing. I'm going to actually bring this up. This is a perfect segue into this shits. You ever have those shits where it's not going to feel good after it comes out? So you're like
it's gonna be a painful shit.
It's not gonna be a good shit. It's not gonna be satisfying. So you're trying to hold off to maybe it'll get better later on. Like maybe it'll the poop will reconfigure itself inside of your intestines. So yeah, because I was gonna piss. I'm like, oh god, I'm like, dude, I need to get this out. Because it's one of those things where it was there going, it was glurkifying in my stomach.
Must have been kind of a shitty shit too, because it wasn't very long. You know what I'm saying? Like you weren't in there long.
Oh, I take quick shits usually. I pop it out, and I've gotten good at quicker shits, man. But yeah, it was just one of those that felt almost like it was ripping your butthole as you were shitting it. It was made of some kind of funky acidic substance. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I know what you're saying. Where your ass cheeks even make sounds as it's coming out. It's like a.
Yeah, it's it's almost, and you're like, oh god, and it's just, and I knew it was going to be a shitty shit. It's going to be a shitty shit. It was not going to be a good shit. I knew it was going to be, so I'm like, oh, I'll just have to wait. And then I'm like, dude, I just better get it out, get it over with, man. And it lived up to expectations. It was not a good shit. It didn't feel good. I don't feel good now. I feel better that I don't have to shit because it's not like the knocking on the back door.
Right, but it's still your stomach has to recover from that.
Yeah, it definitely was not. Yeah, it's it's definitely not one of my better shit moments that I'm going to look fondly back on and go, now that was a good shit.
Yeah. Now sometimes you're right. You walk out and you're like, oh man, that was a very satisfying shit.
Yeah, I feel a little bit more. I feel relieved, but not fulfilled. I don't feel fulfilled after that one.
Oh man, well, dude, that's
not very fulfilling at all.
Don't know what to tell you on that one there. So, well, and speaking of medical shit, just a little kind of a segue there. So Preferred Home Care once again strikes. They sent me more CPAP supplies. I had to call for more supplies. Well, one was that stupid fucking headgear, for my mask.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's always given me trouble. And so I ordered a new headgear. So they sent it, but they send the wrong fucking headgear.
Okay, but wait a second. Why did you need a new headgear when the one you had was already working well?
Well, they wear out over time, dude. The Velcro straps, they start to, they don't hold as well.
Over just a couple of months, huh?
Yeah, well, you got to remember, dude, you're laying there and your face jam's getting all over them, and fucking, you're you're sweating on them and shit, and dirt gets in there, like bed lint and dirt. You know,
God damn, that shit was awful, dude. It's totally fucking reeking up my fucking. Sorry, dude. Talking about face jams.
You might want to open a window or something.
No, I can't open my window, dude, because it's cold and I'll be yelling out the window. You know, people hear. It's awful, dude.
That's pretty bad when you're repulsed by your own shit.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It was just not a good experience. It's better that it's out of me, but it's still not like I feel like it's better. It's like my butt's almost like meh.
You think you're gonna have a part 2?
There probably will be like 2.5.
Usually you have to have a rectal redeeming, you know, where you're like, you know, I gotta go back. You're like Apollo Creed. Your asshole's like Apollo Creed wanting a rematch. Like, no, wait a minute, man. That wasn't a good shit. I want a rematch, you know?
Feeling better. I'm glad I got it out of me, though, because goddamn, that was awful. Holy shit. Like, yeah, holy shit. Holy demon shit. Not holy at all. Defiling. Like a fucking... like
devil shit, huh?
Yeah, defiling fucking... like, altered awfulness.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, so
so yeah, those dumb fucks sent me the wrong headgear
they
again.
Sent you another wrong headgear.
And then when I call them, of course, they're like, well, sir, this is, that we sent you the right headgear. I'm thinking, no, bitch, you did not, man. I'm the one who uses the thing, so I would know,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, that wasn't the right headgear. Trust me, I tried to use it, and it didn't work right. It was wind tunneling me and all that shit. So I put on. Thank God I kept my old headgear, the one I've been using.
Yeah.
So,
and you can probably feel the difference, or is it just a completely different headgear, or is it just set up differently?
It's actually, it's set up differently. Like the one I use now has those clips on it, that clip into the base of the mask to hold it in place.
Mm-hmm.
And this one didn't have those. So I'm not sure. And then let's see, there was some other shit too. It was like, this was kind of elongated, and the strap on the one I have now goes on top of my head, where this one, the strap goes in the front of your head, So yeah, it's strange, but it's just, see, this is the problem though, dude. They got all kinds of foreigners working in there.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they don't give a shit because they're gonna probably go back in a few months. You know what I'm saying?
They're just happy to make money so they can send it back to their family in Baktonga.
They're like, I working here. They're fucking stupid. I'll tell you what, Trump can't kick those fuckers out of this country fast enough. You know what I'm saying?
Awful racist person. You're a racist.
Thank you.
Racist bastard who believe that you don't.
Get these fucking border hoppers out of here, man. Get these insects out of here.
Oh man, you're gonna hear a lot more of that racist, sexist, homophobe, Islamophobe shit.
There's gonna be all kinds of labelings. It's an INS-ticide is what it is, man.
Oh yeah, it's you're supposed to be happy. Let everyone in. Okay, cool. Let everyone in your house. No, I lock my doors every night. Oh, I get it. Why do you lock your doors? Because I don't want people that I don't want in my house. Oh, so you're a racist then, huh?
Yeah, you don't want people in there. You're not going to help out the sick and the tired.
Yeah,
come
on now, you racist. You're a racist. You don't want to let Mexicans in your house. Well, it's the same thing to me. You have to have some kind of goddamn fucking filter, or what's the point of having a country then if you don't have a filter of borders? Borders don't matter.
Well, that's it. I mean, what if we were sneaking over to Mexico?
Everybody's gotta belong. Let everyone in. We're the greatest country on earth. Yes, guess why? Because we don't let everybody in. Because we have to work their asses off to get in, or should have to work their asses off to get in here. We do let everybody in now. And that's why this country's fallen to shit, at least one reason, because there's no cohesiveness and no one's going, wow. That's why you have these fucking, you know how many Mexicans hate illegal immigrants, dude?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
There's so many Mexicans that fucking can't stand them because they're like, I came here, I got here by the hard way. I went through all that bullshit.
I worked to get my shit, and now these motherfuckers come over here for all the free shit.
Yeah, I love this country. I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to have gone through all the citizenship to get here, and now this motherfucker's coming in, and now the guy, because I have an accent, at the store is going to go fucking illegal, and I'm like, I came here fucking legally, you dickface.
Exactly. Well, but there are some groupthinky ass Mexicans that still, it's racist. Well, are you legal? You're Chicano, aren't you? Well, yeah. Okay, then. Then
obviously
this person's
it's not
fucking
racist.
it up for you.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they'll always I've seen some Chicanos go to bat for that.
It's real simple. If Canada were a shithole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people were trying to get here from Canada and they couldn't speak English, they could only speak French. We'd be like, speak English. It wouldn't be like, Well, they're white, so we're just gonna allow them to come in. They're fucking up our country. They don't know the language. They're taking all the menial jobs. They're trying to vote when they don't have documentation. They're using our health care and our taxes. But they're white. We're gonna let them and then love them. No, it would be like these Canucks out of here. These goddamn fucking frogs.
Dude, it has nothing to do with skin color.
No, it doesn't
at all.
It just
this shit has to do with the mentality and
the attitude. Yes.
I don't want to learn English, but I want a free driver's license and I want free health care.
I don't want to learn English. You need to print out your shit in Spanish so that I can understand it. Even though I'm in this country and I'm going to wave a Mexican flag around all the time like I love Mexico. Yeah, you love Mexico. That's why you left Mexico.
Right. And then you want to turn this place into the same shithole you just left.
Yeah, of course, because that's part of it, man. It's this whole idea that like, it's all this like, first of all, Trump, a racist. I've never heard Trump say anything racist.
I've
only heard him say, we want to do this for the inner cities. Now, I've heard people like Bernie Sanders say, white people don't know poverty. They don't know how it is to be poor. I'm like,
that sounds racist to me.
That sounds real racist, because you're assuming that white people have never been poor and that only minorities are poor.
Yeah, all white people are rich.
Bernie Sanders. He can say that because he's amazing. Bernie.
He's Bernie fan. He's the great. He was the political fucking Jim Jones, dude. That motherfucker.
Oh,
I'd be afraid to see what the hell he would do.
He was also a total sellout after the fact, and he got screwed and sold out. He got screwed by the Hillary Foundation. Hillary, I guess, campaign, basically. He got screwed out by the Democratic Party, which was actually released in those WikiLeaks things. That whole WikiLeaks thing.
Oh yeah,
They released all the emails. Well, they're saying that the Russians. Here's another weird little thing about these people that I just don't understand. Okay, they're saying that the Russians hacked into the DNC and exposed all this shit, and that caused Trump to win the election. So they're blaming the Russians for Trump winning the election. But here's my thing. No one's saying that the stuff that was revealed, like the fact that CNN gave questions to Hillary Clinton. That they actually gave the questions to the debate to her before the debate so she could study up on the questions they were going to ask her, and all this shit about like how they fucked over Bernie Sanders. They don't care what that's real. They're mad because the shit was exposed, and it cost them an election. They're not mad because it's real. I'm like, maybe it's because it's real and that Hillary just thwarted the democratic process and went around it and just disregarded it. And was cheating and lying the whole way. So you don't give a fuck about that. You're just mad that people didn't vote for her because of it. You're not mad because she actually was exposed to be a complete and utter fraud, and that she was in collusion with the mainstream media. No. It's bad because it got Trump elected, not because of all the horrible shit that she did. It's like, I don't get it. I actually want to think if it was anybody else, if Russia had exposed Trump for being some kind of bullshit, about the golden shower horse shit, which is complete bullshit, by the way. That was complete bullshit, but if that was true, they'd be like, well, the Russians did us a favor. They saved us from Donald Trump. No. But it's Hillary. Oh my God! How could the Russians have exposed her? Why couldn't they have just not done that? Because now we know the truth about her, and no one voted for her because she's a fucking awful.
Or they did vote for her. That's the thing. They voted for her, and now they're rather than going, damn, glad she didn't win. They're pissed off because Trump won.
Of course, because it's so the ideology is so thick. It's just so thick, and I guess we're gonna go into this because I don't think Kraken's gonna be on tonight. I don't see any info about it, so hopefully everything's good on his end. I see him on the Skypeage, but I don't see him actually. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe I'll try. Let's try one more time at it. Yeah, let's try. Fuck it. Why not?
You want to try it? Give it a shot.
Why not? We'll try to add him.
All right, let's see if we can get him here. Let's see if we get the Kraken involved.
Let's see if we can get him on here.
I know he's one of those. Oh my God, it's going to be so bad. Donald Trump's in kind of people.
Well,
Oh, we got him?
Oh no. No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Let's say add people to this call. We'll try. He's already added almost. It almost seems like he's added. Weird. This is weird.
Huh.
Not on this call. Okay. Add to call. Let's try one more time. Ooh, you heard that little bloop? We didn't hear.
Well, I heard it make the bloop for the first time.
Weird.
Okay.
Weird funkiness, man. But anyway.
Can't get him in. But
I just think it's crazy how these people are just it's so divided. It's so awful. I'm not saying Trump's going to be a great president. I think he's going to be. I don't know. He's going to have, if he has good people around him. Like I don't really. I'm just kind of shutting my eyes. I'm just kind of like whatever, you know. It says call. I don't know. Call failed or maybe not. I don't know what the fuck's go. Yeah, call failed. Fuck it. We're done with that. We're not going to worry about that. So, but it's really strange. What I think is really strange is, like I said, just how people are like so. I mean, it's becoming the point where I'm actually thinking about quitting Facebook.
Oh wow!
Just because to get because it's gonna be like this for the next 4 years. All these Donald Trump did this. He said this. Yes, we get it. You don't like him. I understand that. I don't really like him either. No one really liked. A lot of people don't like him. A lot of people do, but you know, like my family, my fucking stepdad and my mom are like fucking Trump. You know, like total. Oh, yeah. You know, I'm like, okay, you know, and I'm more like if he does shit that's good, because this is the way presidents always seem to work. Like Obama. He didn't he didn't really do anything. I don't like him at all. He kind of fucked things up in terms of relations with the rest of the world. Made us look like a bunch of fucking, you know, a weak ass country in my opinion. And I don't like
George Bush to be continued is what. Well,
he was just a dude who liked to be to go on shows and be cool and be liked. And everyone, you know, but I don't think he really did anything amazing, you know. But he didn't really fuck anything up in some ways. In some ways, he did. Like I think he made race relations a shit ton worse.
Dude, we've had some of the worst race relations
because of the way he says America is a racist country. I'm like, dude, you're the president, you fuckface. All these white people voted for you, dude. And matter of fact, a lot of white people voted for Obama that voted for Trump. So that just shows all the racist bullshit is out of them. Oh, it's all these racist whites that voted for Trump and not for Hillary. No. Sorry, folks. A lot of those racist whites voted for Obama, so if they were racist, they wouldn't have voted for him. And if you were in a country that was racist institutionally racist toward a black person, you couldn't be president. I'm sorry.
I'm glad I don't vote. That's all I gotta say.
Well, it's just the whole thing is just stupid. I mean, but I just think it's just he's divided us even more. But I guess my point is, what I'm trying to make about Trump is maybe he does some good shit. Like I said, the term limits. If he does term limits, this is one thing I am gonna do. I'm going to get on, holy shit, term limits. No other president is able to get this done. Right on Trump. Can anybody agree with me who wanted term limits regardless of your political background? And just see what the answer is. I guarantee you, but well, no, because he said grab him by the pussy. Yes, but we have term limits now. Oh, but he said grab him by the person. But yeah, but we have, did you want term limits? Yes. Okay, so we have term limits. Yes. All right. That's great, isn't it? No, Trump did it. What the fuck?
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see how he is. He might be all right. He might be shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is. You're definitely gonna find out, and I'm it's gonna be a popcorn session, man. It's gonna be interesting to see the popcorn session. But anyways, continuing on that, we had a very monumentous occasion this weekend, man.
Oh, the women's, what was it called? The women's movement or the
women's march on Washington?
Oh yeah, there we go. Okay.
And they basically had a march where a bunch of women flew to Washington or took the time out to go because they obviously with all their.
By the way, man, not to cut you off, but somebody had asked me yesterday. So, what do you think about the women's march? And I was like, kind of ridiculous. And they were and then of course, I love how they always try to play. Well, you know, it's for equal rights for everyone, even blind people.
Oh yeah, right. If it was for equal rights for everyone, then it wouldn't be called the Women's March. It'd be called the Human Rights March,
the People's March.
Because no one gives a fuck about like they because here's the big thing. The reason that they're having this is because basically Trump defunded. One reason was Trump defunded Planned Parenthood, which is basically an organization. They're mad because abortions won't be paid for by the government.
Oh, so you mean these chicks can't just run out and get themselves pregnant all the time
and then fucking use got money to pay and use the government insurance to pay for their abortions because basically.
That's okay. I was fucking heroined out of my mind and this guy raped me and you know, but it happens again and again. It's happened 5 times in a week.
Well, and that's still. I mean, it's an abortion. Your choice. It's an elective surgery. It's not mandatory. You don't need an abortion.
Well,
now,
but the point is that you shouldn't have to. We shouldn't be paying for that.
No,
shit.
because some people don't agree with that. Now, I don't have a problem with abortion. Of course, my stance on it is
I
have no problem.
I don't either.
I have no problem with abortion, but I, of course, want legal contractual abortions to be available to men. But you get a shitstorm with that for some reason. My body, my choice. Okay, cool. You can take care of the kid yourself. How dare you abandon your child? It's not a child. It's a bunch of cells. You said it yourself. A bunch of cells. Oh,
exactly. No, I'm totally for abortion too, man. But it's just the thing of when somebody uses it as a form of birth control, that's when I got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Well, I think it's just, and it shouldn't be paid for by people, by taxpayers' money when people don't agree with that on a fundamental level. They think it's murder. So why should it be fair that people are putting their tax money into that? When it's a known an issue that's split across very deeply, people feel very deeply about it. So why the fuck should anybody have to pay with that for their taxes if someone doesn't support that? I mean, it's clear cut. I mean, a lot of most of the country does not support abortion. I mean, it's pretty clear cut. I mean, so if most of the country doesn't support it, then why should you expect people to because it's a direct. So that basically what they're saying is that it's that women's rights are in jeopardy, and like women have no, because if you ask women what rights don't you have, they don't have an answer because they don't have.
No, they can't tell you. No, hell no.
And they'll bring up faulty shit like the 78% wage earning, which we've talked about.
That's fun. We don't get equal wages, which is some bullshit.
Yeah, they don't earn equal wages. They don't earn equal wages because they have different life choices. Now, in terms of the exact same jobs, it's fucking illegal and has been for over 50 years to pay people differently based upon anything other than their job. So there's not a case in this country, I guarantee it, where a woman's
working the same job as a man and getting less pay.
And the only conditions that's going to be in are when you negotiate your own salary with the company, and that's on the people negotiating to negotiate a better salary. So Jim Bob and Janet are in the same job, but Jim Bob was able to negotiate his salary better because he's better at that, and Jane Bob didn't. Then too bad for Janet, whatever. Now, it could be the other way around. It could be that Janet was able to negotiate her job better and get better pay. Well, guess what? Janet gets better pay, but that's not. You're not going to find someone who works at fucking Taco Bell. Bill works at Taco Bell and makes $10. Jane works at Taco Bell and makes $7. No, it can't happen. It's fucking illegal, and it would be they'd be sued on their goddamn grill. It's a fucking.
That's an archaic ass argument, dude. Anymore,
but people still believe it, and the president spouted it. The president said it. Women make 78% on the dollar. Yes, because they take time off for their kids and do other things and have different priorities. And most women would rather be at home with the kids than working, and they have the social backing to do that because no one's going to think wrongly. Matter of fact, I applaud any families who have one parent that stays home with a child for raising their children.
Fuck yeah! Instead of dumping them in some daycare.
Exactly. So I'm actually thinking that's great. But if you do it, but guys like, well, why is Bill staying at home when Charlotte? Well, Charlotte makes more than Bill. Yeah, but Bill, he's a lowlife. He's just sitting taking it easy. What is he thinking? He should not know. Well, maybe they want one parent at the house all the time with the child, and Charlotte makes twice as much as Bill did. Well, that's still Bill should be doing something more. Why? Why? Because he's a guy?
Yeah, of course.
So they have this fucking march. And they're wearing these hats. They're pussy hats. They're called these
pussy hats. Yeah, it's a picture of a pussy or something.
Yeah, it's so stupid. That's what I was talking about being childish. Like this is so childish. And half these fucking signs are all like, "I've got girl power." It's like, you're just a fuck. Your vagina. It's identity politics, man. I know tons of people went and participate in this stupid fucking thing. That's not going to make a goddamn bit of difference. It's a bunch of posturing. It's a bunch of people getting together saying, "I'm a woman. That makes me awesome." And it's also kind of like what you talked about. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
Oh no, that's it. I was just going to say, which really isn't shit anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of like, huh? Like that's such an old. Sorry, women aren't discriminated against. I'm it ain't happening.
Well, here's the thing. In some ways, everyone is. I mean, if you're a woman and there's a guy around, you're gonna most likely ask the guy to help you move the dresser, because in fact, 90% of the time the guy is going to be stronger. Sorry, just the way biology works. Just like if you ask someone to watch, if you ask someone to have a baby, it's not going to be the guy but there's discrimination.
How many women would rip on a dude if you're like, oh fuck, I can't get this shit or I can't lift it?
Yeah.
Come on, you're a guy, you should be able to do that.
Not only that, but there's discrimination both ways, basically, and there are actual ways. I'm not saying there's no discrimination that.
Oh.
Who's that?
Is that Kraken?
It is.
Oh my God, the Kraken joins us mid-show.
Holy shit, he's jumping in late, but he still came on, man.
Oh wow, man, that's pretty much the way it works with these youngins these days. These fucking
man, they don't have no goddamn.
You missed me.
Hey, listen, I was just thinking. I'm like, man, I haven't been acting enough like a millennial lately. I really got to get that on point. So I procrastinated for about an hour and just decided to hop on.
Well, that's great. So you joined us. You graced us with your presence. That's fantastic.
Oh yes. Man. Please bathe in my glory.
Well, we were just talking about the lovely and so impactful Women's March on Washington yesterday.
Oh, really? So what have your guys' thoughts been on?
Well, my thoughts, of course, it's identity politics to the max. It's pointless. It's ridiculous. That's the way I feel about it because I love how it's all about. The way we were talking, the way I see it is this. Okay, you either go for if you're worried about Trump. You're worried about Trump for all Americans. Do you really think Trump's going to go, this woman here, I'm going to fuck over her, but Jim over there, he's a dude. I'm not going to fuck over Jim, because he's a dude. So if you're worried about him fucking over everybody, then because it's all about exclusion. You think, I'm being inclusive, but no one of these people give a fuck about the issues that face half the population of the country, which happen to have a penis. In fact, they mock that kind of shit.
So let me ask you this. Would you have been more supportive and behind this if it was just a march for America? Like, what if they said, we're marching for America, come one, come all?
Well, I would have been more like, it's kind of better in that way, because the whole premise around the whole pussy hat thing and all that vagina bullshit, it's all identity politics shit. So yes, if it would have been more about that, I would have still thought it was pointless because I honestly think the real reason is that they're just butthurt because Trump won and they're just mad. So he won, and now they're going to go protest because the only thing he's done that he defunded Planned Parenthood, and we talked about this a little while ago, and that's considering, oh my God, how horrible, how could he do that? Because a lot of people don't agree with abortion, and so they don't want their tax money to go to support paid for abortions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, at the same time, a lot of people don't want their tax money to support the military, but what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, but that's a necessity, though, to protect your country. And abortion is an elective, something that you elect to do. Now, obviously, specific cases in terms of medical, sure, fine. But you're electing to take your abortion is like a boob job. You're electing to do it. You don't have to have an abortion. You don't have to need it for your medical needs.
I mean, to be fair, though, they have looked at the long-term economical effects of abortion and how it helps curb population control, and it stops the teenage mom scenarios from MTV and shit.
And that's why I do agree with abortion.
Well, yeah, I have no problem with abortion itself. I'm not a proponent of.
But the thing is, taxpayers shouldn't have to pay for it, right?
Not for certain.
I'd have to say I don't agree with that because I think necessity is subjective for some things. So I feel like once we start going down that road, then everyone's going to start piping up going, oh, well, I only want to pay my taxes for this, and I only want to pay my taxes for that. And then next thing you know, we have fucking riots going on because no one wants to pay taxes for everything. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I think most of the stuff we have for taxes is important. Regardless, I'm not saying that the way it's divided is, the way the spending is divided amongst these categories is. But I feel like most of these things are important, and it's not really up for the common man to be like, "Oh, I'm not paying taxes for this."
Yeah, but you're getting into kind of weird policy because there are certain people whose beliefs strictly prohibit abortion from being considered. So basically, it's not something that and that's a strong belief to a lot of people. I know a lot of people who can't stand it. Like personally, and I believe it should be legal. I'm very uneasy about abortions because it's a very slippery slope, in my opinion.
No pun intended.
Slippery slope. So but you've got.
That's disgusting. Yeah. Oh my God, Maxwell.
So you've got. That's what he does, man. Not as disgusting. That shit smelled worse 10 minutes after I shit it than it did.
Wow, this conversation really fell down the stairs, didn't it? Jeez.
It did fall down the stairs. Yeah, kind of. It's a very sucky conversation. You know.
Well, you know, we're just trying to hang on as long as we can.
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
It's a complex situation.
It is, and I can understand that, but it's not an affront against women because a lot of women don't believe in abortion and don't believe it should be funded either. So it's not this man thing. We're trying to curtail women's choices and stop them from making the choice. No, you can still have an abortion. Some people just don't feel it should be funded. But it's always about the same goddamn shit. It's always about the victim narrative and how women's rights are being affronted on. Okay, well, what rights don't you have and what rights are being affronted on? That's the only thing they can seem to come up with. Because, I mean, I can give a whole shit ton of... my problem with it is that, like I said, half the population is being ignored. So it's like, oh, women, yay, okay, great. You don't give a fuck about dudes. No one fucking cares about guys. No one fucking cares. So
we could have the blind people march,
and then you've got people like Ashley Judd's talking about bleeding all over her sheets, and I'm a nasty woman. And
what?
So,
what did she say?
She said some shit about like she read some 19-year-old's poem about how like the Cheeto dusted Donald Trump, and all these people. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's like, yeah, wait, great. You can bleed all over. Something about how tampons are taxed more than razors, and razors aren't taxed. Like, dude, you have to.
Wow, they were grasping at straws.
I gotta find it, but it's
shave their pussies.
And then Madonna said something about like blowing up the White House and shit. It's like, okay,
like, come on, dude. If you or I said that shit, we'd be in cuffs right now.
Listen, I don't like Trump. I know people think people on this show might think I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because we just no fucking choice. I don't like him. I don't like Hillary. I didn't like Hillary. I don't like either one of them. But you know what? It's too late. He's the fucking
he's in there. Yeah. So fuck, just let him do what he's gonna do. I guess. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. You know, you want to really do something, buy a Fortune 500 company and be part of the globalist agenda.
I'm not a big fan of protesting anyway because I think half of protesting is just a bunch of virtue signaling.
I mean, you know, yeah. I think there's good and bad aspects to it. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, absolutely, cruise control, because I think a lot of how the protest started probably was a lot of just, you know, like, hey, look at me, these are my issues, you know, and I'm unique and I'm special. But I also think that it was the only venue we had for people who generally did want to protest. And even though I didn't go and protest, I support our right as Americans to protest because that's how we get shit done. So
you can definitely
or at least that's how we used to get shit done.
Well, you can support it. You can definitely support. My thing is it's a lot easier it's an endorphin thing. It's a psychological thing. You go, I can walk downtown and I can walk these people and I feel so, because you know a mob's a monster. I mean, when you're around other people and you're doing the same thing, you reinforce each other's beliefs, and so you feel good about yourself. You're doing something when you're really not doing a fucking thing, really, except just letting people know that you're mad that Trump won. Because and here's another problem I have with it: the Women's March on Washington. These women keep saying, "Oh, women need this," when they don't represent all the women. Because I've got several friends on my my Facebook page, another page. You probably saw the thing going around. Maybe you saw it, Kraken. Not sure if you saw it, Max. It's that little thing that says, "I'm a woman. I don't have any issues. I'm not oppressed. I'm not oppressed." A friend of ours posted
John
that.
Shared it. Yep, yeah. I did see that.
I'm not oppressed. I don't feel like I'm being pressed. I feel like I've earned my share. I'm not involved in this. So don't speak for me. Because they get in this idea that, I speak for women. No, you don't. You don't speak. Your identity politics are blinding you. You speak for yourself, and yet you think you're trying to say you speak for all women to make your point more powerful, when in reality you don't, because 53% of white women, at least, and about 30 million American females voted for Donald Trump. And they know all of them are misogynists and hate themselves. They can't possibly have had any other idea about voting for this, because they have to hate them. Yeah, they hate that they're probably making their man a sandwich while he's drinking a beer, and then when he hits him at night, they nod politely and say, "I deserve that."
Right on.
Right.
Trump for life.
It's so divided. So and that all it does is serve to divide people, because I mean it serves to say in all these stupid signs, it's just so childish in a way, like wearing these pink fucking goofy hats.
Well, the worst was the pussy hat, man. Come on, what the fuck was that all about?
Because Donald Trump made lewd comments about things that weren't supposed to be recorded.
Oh. Grab him by the pussy.
I'm sure Obama said some shit at one point. I grabbed the bitch by her pussy.
I'd like to ask these women if they ever talked about cutting a man's balls off, and if they joked about that and had that put out, would they be assumed that they're actually they actually do cut off men's balls?
Well, I do see the hypocrisy in that. We do have to accept at a certain level of responsibility as potential president of the United States.
No,
that
he's
you
a
have to take
shithole
into
in a lot of
consideration
ways.
that
He's a
stuff was
dumbass
done. I
in
mean,
some ways.
when Obama was running for president, man, everyone was talking about how he smoked marijuana and how he is unfit and everything like that, you know. And to be fair, I can understand people's concerns when they're coming from that angle, as ridiculous as it sounds. So when you have your president-elect going, oh yeah, grab the woman by the pussy, I mean, it doesn't really paint a good picture when you realize that guy's supposed to be running the country.
It's human. Everybody's, man. Obama
let's face the facts here, Maxwell. If you're going to become president, you're not allowed to be human. All right, you're like, and maybe that's a problem on a larger scale that we really need to address at some point, because that is stupid as it sounds, but that's the fact of the matter. You have to be perfectly and completely cordial. Saying stuff like that is like what? How are people supposed to react? Well, you know, people say shit. Well, no, this guy's gonna be running the country.
Oh no, believe me. I don't like Donald Trump. I think my problem is that the people that voted for him are not all doing it because they hate certain people. I mean, but that's the I get this. People have told me on Twitter that if they find that friends have voted for Donald Trump, they'll defriend them. It won't be their friends.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen people write that shit.
I'll
unfriend you if you voted for fucking Trump.
Like people I've known like for 10, 15 years. If I disagree with them on certain things, they still know me as a person, and know that I'm not going to fuck them over. Like I know there's a friend of mine, we talked about this before, who I know has my back. I know is a good person. I don't agree with her a lot in a lot of ways. She's totally big on this shit and was like, oh, Ashley Judd was saying, it's so great. Yeah, she made jokes about Cheetos. It's really fucking great. Okay, but I would never go, well, you have different beliefs than me, and even though you treat me with respect and have my back and have helped me several times, and I've done the same to you, I'm not going to disregard that. Now she basically has said, if you voted against my life and my rights, and I'm like, whoa! And if you didn't vote too, you did so because I didn't vote. You know, so basically, I basically am against her personally now, and it's just kind of like you need to step back a little bit and realize that people.
Oh, how about Ashley Judd? She's a celebrity. Is she allowed to be human? Obviously, she's talking about having bleed week on some nigga sheets. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's kind of
yeah.
I mean, in that regard, I agree with you completely. Cruise control. I mean, that's actually disgusting me more than anything. Is my Facebook feed is just filled with volatile, senseless attacking on both sides. All right, for every post I see talking about how Donald Trump didn't hold his wife's hand, or he was doing this stupid shit or that stupid shit, I see another post posting, look at these liberals, and the liberals are acting like idiots and everyone's acting like idiots. But it's so senseless that we're taking our political beliefs and we're using it as a front to fight each other.
Well, it's identity politics.
Fighting people who are all mostly at our level of income, who are working at the same 7-Elevens and fast food restaurants and insurance firms that we all work at, and yet somehow, for some reason, we divide ourselves by that red and blue line, and now we're enemies. And now the other side are idiots and assholes, and the other side are idiots.
Well, that's the identity politics.
That is shameless.
Because identity politics is the cancer of our time, and the reason is that it's not just about like your race, your gender, or whatever. It's about like your political ideology. Like here's a crazy thought. All right, there's been times where I've have gay and lesbian friends who have been like, oh my God, you believe you could be a Republican and you're gay? What does that have to do with being gay? I understand. I'm not even talking about like, well, they want to remove these kind of rights. Well, most of the time Republicans like individual rights, but if you're fiscally conservative, like you believe in not spending a lot of government money, why, if you're gay, should you have to? Why does that mean you have to believe in giving money? That's so crazy. Like if you're black and you believe in fiscal responsibility and not in welfare, and you don't believe in giving money out for just to give it out. because you want to spend money on certain things, then that means, well, how could you believe that? You're black. Or
well, that's that groupthink shit I was talking about earlier when somebody was like, well, don't you know the Women's March is for equal rights? Even blind people, people try to play on the
your personal identity has nothing to do with your beliefs in terms of in fundamental ways. If you believe in gun control, or let's say you believe in the Second Amendment, you're an NRA freak, and you're gay, there are people like, how could you believe in gun control? You're gay.
Well, and once again, because it's going back to the sides issue. Because Republicans,
exactly.
if we're looking at it as sides, Republicans tend to have conservative issues regarding homosexuality and same-sex marriage and all things like that, and so it's lumped in just like everything else is lumped in, and that's why I hate this two-party system. I can't stand it. I'm nonpartisan.
It's gotten so.
Honestly, it's broken. It's showing it now that it's broken.
Oh, it's disgusting. I tend to vote Democratic because I tend to have I tend to have a more liberal set of viewpoints. That doesn't mean I'm a Democrat though, and I refuse to identify as such, because if any other Republican had decided to run instead of Trump, they would have had my vote over Hillary. Any of them, guaranteed. All right, and I don't have problems voting quote unquote Republican when the issues are being approached appropriately by the candidate. I want to vote on issues, not on sides. I don't want to vote for parties. I don't want to vote for the Green Party. I don't want to vote for Democrats, and I don't want to vote for Republicans. I want to vote on issues. And I know it's so complicated because God forbid you'd have to listen to the politician and pay attention to what stance they're taking on issues. But I want to vote for the politician that has the set of stances on issues that I agree with the most, not the side that they say they're on, because most of the time you're getting a mixed bag. It's like, oh, I'm the Republican candidate. Well, okay, so half the issues you stand for I'm totally for, and the other issues you stand for I hate you for. So what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of the same way. It's just funny because there is a group of Republicans, and this is kind of
they're called the Log Cabin
Republicans. They're Republicans that are gay, and I don't like to be late to label that, and I think, well, but people are like, how could you be a Republican and be gay? Because they don't believe in things you do, because they're not you, and it's just so mad.
It's group thinking.
But it's so maddening because people get mad about being stereotyped. And then they get mad when people don't reinforce their stereotypes.
Don't follow the stereotype.
Like, oh my God, you're a gay Republican? Yes, I'm an individual who happens to be gay.
Well, it's the whole heartstring thing. Like I said, people with the it's for blind people too, or whatever. People were I remember with Obama and who the fuck was it last time, dude? Who was running against Obama?
Mitt Romney.
Romney. Yeah. So I was talking shit about Obama, and somebody was like, did you know that Romney cut funding to the School for the Blind? And I'm like, first of all, schools for the blind are bullshit anyway. I don't agree with them.
But you're blind, so you're supposed to agree with them, dude.
Because I'm blind, I'm supposed to be like, oh, you're right.
Obama has my vote then, because Romney's a shit face for that then.
Yeah, because I didn't know that, but now that you brought that to my attention, I think
I'm going to go for my little group. And here's another problem with identity politics, and this is something that no one likes to bring up, because it's, especially with this Women's March, right? When was the last time you heard any of these people, in terms of these marches and this stuff, say, you know what, and all the men out there, all the white men out there who have issues too, it's always about all these about we need to stop the minorities, the oppressed, the women, the gays, the Muslims. For some reason, they throw Muslims in there. I don't know why they hate. It's kind of crazy how that got that's a whole different ballgame. How that got joined in this Islamophobic bullshit, which is. But my point is, it's all about all these things about. They never mention white dudes, and then they expect us to fight for them, So if you don't give a fuck about me, and you're focusing on your little biological or little niche, why the fuck should I care about you? Well, so it kind of breeds. That's why we have this big chasm, this big schism between these two groups, is because it's always about, well, you need to look up for the rights of the minority. You need to look up. what about my right? As males, men are like 3 times more likely to kill themselves. Oh, well, fuck you. We don't care about that.
But it's all self-serving bullshit.
Why not? Men are 92% of all workplace deaths in industry is male. Well, fuck it. You're not caring about. Okay, well, I don't care about you either. How could you not care about me? Well, you don't care about me. See, so it divides people.
I think the thing with white males and any minority or special interest group is that it's kind of like the don't ask, don't tell policy in the military. Like, you can kind of go wherever you want as a white male, just don't kind of raise a fuss. You know what I mean? Don't speak up about it.
It's basically there's no because first of all,
I'm sure there's plenty of white men at the Women's March.
I know a few that went there too. Yeah, then they were there and they were but if
marching, they were supporting.
Of course, and and that's fantastic. That's fine if they want to do that. That's their right to do that. And like I said, it's not my thing is that how can you expect people to not think of you as an identity and to think of you as an individual when you focus only on that shit always? It's the same goddamn thing every time. Well, if you don't agree with me, you're a homophobe and blah 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 blah. You're a racist. You're sexist. You're a misogynist. You hate women.
Well, that's people who wallow in their minority status. That's their
identity. Not well, women aren't minorities regardless. They're half the population. They're not a minority.
It's people that wallow in the status that they choose for themselves.
Exactly.
Right?
But it also it's because see, it's almost like, and I want to ask you guys this. I think I've talked about this before, but I don't know if I talked about it with Kraken on the show. Do you ever get the impression, and I want to ask you directly, Kraken, because I've thought about this a lot. The impression that I get in terms of these social justice people, in terms of people who are transgender, gay, women, whatever, is that when you say I don't give a fuck if you're gay. To me, being gay is like sucking on toes. It's disgusts me personally because I don't like toes. Like Max, you love sucking on sweaty toes.
Oh, yeah.
The thought of sucking on sweaty toes makes me sick. However, I'm not going to judge you on that. It's your life, your prerogative. You can enjoy what you like. So you can enjoy and be attracted to whatever you want. It doesn't affect me.
It doesn't make you or break you. You don't care. It doesn't
make you or break me. You ever get the idea that that's as or more offensive now because it's not the idea that you have to accept. You have to love. It has to be a positive reaction. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do in your own time. If you're an individual and you're good to me as an individual, cool, right? That's all that really matters as an individual because I'm actually the type of person who wants to get beyond all this shit. Like, I don't care if you're gay. Well, why don't you care? Because aren't I not supposed to care? So it seems like there's this kind of flip where now it's almost expected for you to actually love and appreciate people for shit that doesn't actually make them special.
You're gay. You're a fighter.
You're
no,
gay.
Man, you're just a dude.
So what? You're gay. Like saying so what? You're gay is almost considered as bad as saying, God, I can't stand you.
Fucking bag or something. Yeah.
So it's like this kind of flip, or like you need to respect my culture. No, I don't. I don't give a fuck about your culture. Are you a good individual to me? Yeah, you're cool. Awesome, Tyrone. You're awesome. You're an awesome dude. Well, I'm black. So? You're black. It doesn't make a difference. Well, you need to respect my Kwanzaa. No, I don't have to respect your shit. I don't respect a goddamn thing about you unless you're cool to me. You're cool to me. I'm cool to you. Right? We're cool. Yeah, but you don't respect it. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
You shouldn't embrace it and have to love it.
If you want me to care, then you can't get mad that I care that in a negative way. You can't get mad at me if you want me to focus on that, that's fine. But I have every fucking right to not like it and then focus on the fact that I don't like it. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it be, well, I don't care about your gayness, but I love you because you're gay.
Okay,
or I don't care about your womanhood.
What's your question, Cruise Control?
Well, that's my point. Do you see that? Do you see that idea where, have you ever, because I'm the type, it's the same people like when people say, I don't see color. And then, like, okay, perfect example was, this chick was on the shitty Daily Show or something like that, and she goes, well, I don't see red, and everyone in the audience says, oh, you don't see
like it's
red.
A negative almost because you don't
focus
notice
on
their minority quote unquote status.
You don't notice their bullshit fucking victimhood status, which makes them. Does that make sense?
Well, I think, oh man, I'm starting to sound like a politician. I think it's a multifaceted issue. I will say this: I really wish that I could be in the shoes of one of those in one of those people's shoes, because honestly, okay, it's like, and I'm not going to make this a direct comparison because I know it's not completely correct, but it's just the best comparison I have right now. All right, back in the 50s and 60s, all right, with African Americans, people were still getting killed, all right? People are still getting lynched, and there's still horrendous injustice and crimes being done against African Americans at the time, all right? So at the time, obviously, for African Americans, it was going to be a huge issue. All right. Mm-hmm. So, we get into the same-sex marriage and all that stuff and with the LGBT community, and you have these, and then you have people who are getting killed still, even within the last 17 years, even in the new millennium, and you have these people who are getting persecuted and who are getting bullied. So, it's hard to say. All right. I wish I could have that perspective, but I don't, because I've never been in that position. I will say that acting extreme and trying to force who you are down everyone's throat and trying to constantly put that on people and force them to respond in a way to your liking, I think that is manipulative and controlling, and I think it serves you no purpose. I think it's disgusting.
I think gay pride parades are a case in point, in my opinion, because that's just focusing on, oh, I'm gay. Well, so what? You're gay. You want me to not care. So why are you making me demand that I care? If you don't want me to care, I won't care. If you want me to care, you can't expect me to care positively. I can care negatively because you want me to focus on that. So if you want me to focus on that, and that's what Martin Luther King was like, the content of your character and not the color of your skin. We've gotten so beyond that, and I was raised with that just pounded into my skull when I was a kid. It's about your content of your character. It's who you are. So when I see people now that are asking for safe spaces because for being a certain race, and you can't go in those spaces because that just makes me want to puke just instinctively, and that's happening now. That's happening in a lot of they're segregating classes now and college campuses. Where
that sounds like we're going backwards.
Of course it is. It's
anytime
regressive.
You're involving segregation.
Yes, it's regressive, and that's the kind of shit that scares me. Or when you're like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I should be a special. I'm a special snowflake.
And part of it is also, and I think this definitely is perspective because of our visual impairments or blindness, is that I've always been considered a minority, quote unquote, because, and
the first step towards acceptance is, people just not making a big deal out of it. How many times, Kraken, do I just want to just chill and not be made a spectacle of? You know what I'm saying? You know that from working with me.
All the time, and I agree with that. But I think there's a time and a place for those marches, and I think that there are appropriate times for those marches to happen. I think it's perfectly fine to want to be treated just like anyone else. I think what happens is when people start getting excessive negative treatment, it makes you want to start standing up for something. All right, so like I said, having a parade for just no reason is silly. It's nonsensical. It makes no sense. However, for instance, back in high school, I had a friend who is bisexual or whatever. I don't know her anymore. But back in high school, okay, her parents, who are extremely Christian, very conservative, caught her kissing a girl, all right? And her dad started physically abusing her, and she had to run away, and she actually ended up sleeping over in my house one night. It was awful. It was horrible, all right? And it was all because her parents found her kissing a girl, all right? That shit happens. All right, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen around us all the time. We're not exposed to that, but that was happening, and that is still happening. And for those occasions, I can understand when people get firsthand experiences like that, why they might want to be like, "Hey, let's get up and make people understand that we are not to be treated like second-class citizens."
Oh, but I guess.
In that regard, I agree completely. Now,
I guess what Cruise Control was saying. Oh, not to cut you off, man.
Sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say what Cruise Control I think is saying though is like if you're approached and you say, "Oh man, I don't care if you're gay. It's your prerogative, man. It's your thing." What? You don't care if I'm gay? Like almost like people want to be revered for shit.
It's like a means of using identity to give yourself an up. Like, well, I've been through so much. No, you're a human being. You have no idea what an individual human being has been through. It's like when people say, "Well, you're white, you wouldn't understand." Oh yeah, well I'm white. Yeah, my mom beat me when I was a kid. What? Your mom did? Oh yeah, my mom beat me when I was a kid because I was. But you're white. You don't understand problems. You have no idea about anybody. It's all the identity politics. So when you get there's a fine line between fighting for people's rights and fighting for your rights, but then assuming that you have some moral high ground because you're a victim constantly. And that's where the problem is right now, is that it's all about victim mentality. You know, it's all about the idea, like the whole notion that if you're transgender, we've talked about this before, but you can't ask a transgender person why, you know, what their mind. That's a rude question. No, it's not. It's a very good question, and you're treating that person like a human being by asking about their life. It's like the same thing about asking people where they're from. Oh, are you from? Where are you from? Well, because I'm American. How dare you? Sorry, I'm not going to ask you any questions. But the whole point, I guess, what I'm saying is there's a fine line between being in a part of a group, and using that being a part of the group as some kind of like badge of honor, because there's no badge of honor. That's the whole point of seeing people as individuals and not judging them by their sexual preference, by their race, gender, whatever. Is the whole point of that is to not make that a big deal. It shouldn't matter in your decision about how they are as an individual, right? That's the whole point, right? So when you make it a point to say that matters as an individual and about who you are, then you're only asking for people to judge you on that aspect of yourself, because you're making it a point. You're making it a part of your personality. You're making it a part that you expect them to acknowledge and respect. But the problem is with that is that they can acknowledge it and respect it, or they could acknowledge it and say, yeah, you are gay, and I hate gay people. They have every right to do that, because you're making it a point to make that part of your identity and part of your individuality, when the whole point of being an individual is to say, hey, yeah, I'm gay. Just like when people say you're betraying your womanhood by voting for Trump. No, that defeats the whole point of being an individual and not relying on your identity. Women don't have to think the same way. Black people don't have to vote Democrat. The black people that vote Republican are not Uncle Toms. They're not betraying their race. They're being who they are. They're showing you that every individual is an individual, and that people think for themselves and aren't classed in that identity you're
that's
reinforcing.
The problem with collectivism, man. The shit's a nice idea, but it just doesn't work.
No. Well, see, and you're making good points, but honestly, all of those are examples of extremism. And the reason that extremism is so common is because we have every outlet to be an extremist. I mean, look at the Westboro Baptist Church during those days. Okay, everyone was hating Christians. Everyone, all right, you know, because the Westboro Baptist Church was doing extremist, ridiculous things, and it's the same thing now with minority groups and with special interest groups, and they're extremists who are getting all up in your face, you know. But honestly, I don't think that's a problem on an individual level. I really don't, because here's the thing, and it's not that I'm trying to wipe away a person's personal decisions. It's just that I think that the way we are being manipulated as a society, I think, is promoting the growth of these kinds of attitudes and these kinds of mentalities.
Well, yeah.
And I think the whole purpose of the whole thing isn't for social rights. I don't think it's for protecting anyone. I think it's to keep us preoccupied with each other.
Exactly.
So that we don't actually focus on serious issues. So I understand where you're coming from, absolutely, but the reason for it being is just because people just want us to fight, and people want us to get up in each other's face.
That's why it's a matter of distrust. Like when first of all, the whole idea of cis white male, the whole term of cis.
I'm gonna get that out. I'm gonna interject really quick and get that out of the way. I despise that word.
Well, it's like
with every fiber of my being, because I feel like it's a very degrading and degenerate word. And here's the thing. All right, I'm not one of those people that's like, you can't say that. That's not a word you're allowed to say. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though that the way you're using that word and the context in which that word is being used is an offensive and aggressive form of speaking. All right, you like, that is not a term. Okay, that is slang. That is an insult.
Yeah, it's like calling someone a faggot.
If you're gonna use it, it's fine. It just, don't pretend that it's not. Don't pretend that it's not an insult. Don't be like, oh no, it's just a term. That's just what
there's that mentality again. They can't do insults. They're oppressed. They can't oppress the oppressor.
Yeah, they're not allowed to
whatever the fuck they want. You know, just like black people can't be racist.
Yeah, no, I can't stand that word.
Yeah, the cis white male bullshit.
It's just filthy. I mean, first of all, I'm like, I just hope that one day, far off in the future, we can come together as a society where we can get rid of labels and we just don't have to fucking, we don't have to fucking you don't have to have a resume describe with a full list of words describing who you are.
That's my point.
Then,
that's
want to get to a point. I think the world is going to get more complex. I think 20, 30 years from now, you're not going to be able to walk up to a woman and be like, hey, you want to go out on a date? Because and just assume that they're straight, because chances are at that point, they'll probably be like, oh, sorry, nope, don't fly that ship. And you'll have to, it won't be as cut and clean as it used to be. But I hope eventually we'll get to a point where it's just like, oh, hey, you want to go on a date with me? Nope. Okay. All right. And then, or hey, you just talk to a person, and you don't have to go into all the semantics and break down who that person is.
Well, I'll tell you, man, the special snowflake thing is not gonna help the labels go away. I'll tell you that.
The labels are reinforced because it gives you a sense of when you're a victim, you have the moral high ground. So it's easy to be a victim and be told that you're a victim because that allows you to have the moral high ground because you are the one who's being oppressed. So you can do whatever the fuck you want because someone else is oppressing you.
No, I think it's eventually going to break down. I think it's going to break down through violence.
Well,
yeah. I mean, it's already been happening. I mean, police brutality, and then people reacting to police brutality with brutality of their own kind, and then these march and protests that ends with fires and breaking and looting and destruction of property. These are all big red button, warning signs that we're dealing with, and they're signs of stuff that's to come. Eventually, all this is going to come to a head, and it's going to come to a head in a very violent and very catastrophic manner, and then afterwards hopefully we'll be able to start the cycle all over again a little bit better than we did before.
Well, it's like how I always say, man, revolution is never clean.
No, it's not. It's disgusting and it's awful. People who say they want a revolution don't understand the repercussions, and I understand that revolutions eventually become necessary because people at the top literally aren't fucking smart enough to just give a little bit. So I understand why revolutions are necessary, but they're not good things. They're horrible, horrible things that end up with a lot of death and a lot of destruction and a lot of poverty.
Oh yeah,
but
I
think these special interest groups and these extremist people that we've been talking about, guys, I think that's what this is all leading up to. This boiling pot of angst and anger and frustration and clashing with each other. All people that we live next door to each other with. All this is going to come to a head eventually, and it's going to come to a head soon.
Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, very sooner than people expect. I think. I've talked about this with Max.
It's a tea kettle, man.
Plenty of times before. Before it was like we'd notice like a little bit of dust coming down from the ceiling, in terms of the country. Like if you think of the country as a house, you're walking through the house, you see a little dust come off the ceiling. You might see a little bit of a crack in the. You might notice a crack that wasn't there. At this point, we are seeing the cracks go down the wall. We're actually seeing shit actually break down in front of us. We're seeing fucking pieces of the wall fall off while we're walking by. It's not like before it's not like before where it's like, oh shit, man, I didn't realize that crack was there. It's like you're walking by, all of a sudden, oh shit, half my
big chunk of drywall hits you on the head and shit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, part of your ceiling's sinking because there's a leak in the plumbing and it's filling with water. And
you're literally seeing the water stain spread as you're watching it, not like coming back a day later and saying, that's a little bigger than it was 2 weeks ago. No, you're seeing that shit spread and drip on your head, and you're like, oh, fuck. And it's happening over the last year and a half, I'd say 2 years, is when I've really started seeing this shit happening in front of my eyes. Before that, it was like, oh, well yeah, okay, that's kind of fucked up that's happening. Now it's literally just falling.
It's full-on geyser now.
Yeah, this whole thing, this whole election, everything around it just shows how just decayed our society is and how out of touch we are with. I mean, we're gonna be looking back at this point and go, wow, we used to be able to have so much freedom. And we took it for granted because we got used to it and thought that it was something that we should have in so many other ways. I
agree. I think things really. I think when Bush got elected, and I'm not making a comment on him. I'm not saying everything started to go downhill with him. Things were going downhill before that. But I'm saying around the time of W. Bush getting elected and the start of his presidency, and I think everything forward was when tensions really just started building, and it's been slow. It's been over 20 20 years in the making,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I think, as you can tell, like every year now is getting worse and more volatile. People are getting louder and more aggressive and more angry, and we're getting more riots, and we're getting more fights, and we're getting more acts of brutality.
And
it's gonna
less
hit
logical.
a point. It's not gonna stop escalating at this point.
I call it the tea kettle theory.
Yeah,
I call it the tea kettle theory. It's just, you know, soon it was simmering, now it's heating up, and soon it's just gonna be like, bam, it's gonna go, you know.
Yeah, and we're all going to suffer. I mean, and we're gonna suffer leading up to it, and we're gonna suffer following it. But that's just it's what's happening. You can see it just by going on Facebook, going on your favorite forums, looking at the news on the television. Things are coming to a head, and it might take another 10 or 15 years, but it's gonna happen, and it's gonna hit hard.
Yeah, it's going to be, and we're going to be. Yeah, it's. I think it's inevitable at this point. It's a reset of society, basically, of the society, and it might not be for the best in some ways, because people in this age believe that hurt feelings are more important than your right to speak, and that's scary fucking shit in my mind. Yep. Hurt feelings are the reason you have the right to speak. I should have the right. I have every right to hurt your fucking feelings.
Hey, and if we're hurt by words, shit, dude, we're in real trouble as a country.
It's really bad. I mean, when you've got people that are going to be arrested for not using the correct pronoun to address someone, that's scary shit. I have the right to call you a fuckface and call you fuckface, and then, oh, my name's Bill. Oh, hey, fuckface, what's up? You can call me Bill, fuckface. You're arrested. That's scary shit. I have the right. I have the right to say shit to you. That's the whole point. Is that you have the right to be offended, sure, but that doesn't stop my right to speak and to say whatever the fuck I want and think of you in whatever fucking way I want to, because that's what it really comes down to, is controlling your ability to think. But anyway, that's what I'm going with that. I mean,
next 4 years, regardless of what happens, next 4 years are going to be interesting, no matter what. All right.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, we are gonna see some crazy fucking shit. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and we're already seeing it now. Considering.
Oh yeah,
and it's gonna be even more.
It's just the beginning, man.
Yeah, more crazy, and it's gonna be an interesting ride, and we'll hopefully be here to document that shit. So.
Trump's campaign song should be "Only Just Begun" by the Carpenters.
Only just begun.
Yeah.
But what else is people on you guys' mind? Do we have? Are we?
Shit. I'm good. I told you my shit earlier. Yeah. Kraken, you got anything, man?
Honestly, nothing more present than the election and than the inauguration and fucking how crazy everyone's been acting. I think we got that through as well.
Yeah, we got. That's the main thing. I'm actually glad you got on right when you did, because I was just starting to talk about, that whole march and stuff like that, because I'm one of those people. Like I said, there's 350 million people in this country, and around the world, obviously 7 billion people, 8 billion people. So it's just so funny that it's always goes back to the same.
Same fucking thing.
Everybody's
minority
status, and
special,
women are so oppressed, but half the population they don't give a fuck about and expect me to care about. Like I said, I don't think in that kind of terms. I'm more like, Muslims are awful. The Muslim religion is awful because in certain countries, gay people are thrown off buildings for being gay, and you're pissed off because I'm saying that Muslims, because religion's shit, I guess I'm going around in circles again. But my point is that I think the identity politics is a way for the people who quote unquote in power. I'm going to my conspiracy theory thing because I rip on Max all the time for his conspiracy theories about certain things. But man, the easiest way to keep people is divided is to have them not trust each other on shit that doesn't matter.
And have them feuding over stupid shit.
That, if you say and if you allow certain people to do certain things and don't allow other people to do it because of their race, like white people can't be, black people can't be racist. That's a common term. I'm sure you guys heard that before. But
oh fuck yeah, yep.
Women can't be sexist.
Our
black
troll
people can't
said
be.
That one time, I'm an oppressed minority. You can't say that I'm being racist.
So then you got white people getting upset, and then that makes them fit the stereotype of upset white people, and it's just a constant. So I think the people are really happy right now because we're all at each other's throats.
Yeah, the higher ups, those with power.
Yeah, well, we have plenty of things to vent our anger on. But I think that's a good point, and I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat as well, because a lot of people don't like to really think about it either. But instead of fighting with someone on Facebook, or instead of verbally attacking or abusing people you would consider friends or family, understand that all of this is bullshit, and it's all meant to fucking just make you fight with each other.
Right.
All
And
right?
what's this allegiance to politicians? You know what I'm saying? Everybody has this, no, you talk shit about Trump, or you talk shit about Hillary. You know, hey, those motherfuckers don't care about you, but yet you're fighting with your friend, you know?
Yeah, listen, care about your common man, all right? I'm not trying to sound like some kind of leader or anything like that, but honestly, you know, if you're going to resist, or if you're going to stand up for it, do it peacefully and do it without being volatile and disgraceful. Don't demean yourself to demean others, because all it's going to do is make you look like an idiot and make everyone else look like an idiot.
And help you bite into the plan.
As the guy said, what's that guy's name? The painter guy.
Painter?
The paint guy who talks, you know, and
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, you know, let's all just be good to one another.
Yeah, that's right. You know, he's happy little trees. Actually, I love Bob Ross. That guy's awesome.
He is.
But yeah,
awesome.
man, peaceful. All right, don't hurt each other. Don't fucking, you know, spit vitriol. You got better. There are better people to fucking be putting your anger towards. All right,
yeah,
I'm about to pay.
I'm about on Facebook because they voted for Trump or whatever.
I'm about to pay through the nose for in taxes because I don't own property or have children, and that's a whole other bag of worms. But that's just a small slice.
And you're not married.
A small example to show you that I shouldn't be angry at fucking Joe Blow on Facebook. I have other people who actually deserve my anger.
You just need to get married. That way you can have some tax deductions too.
No, I know, right? I just get married.
Buy a house.
Get married, buy a house, have a couple of kids, and that way I can get all the taxes I shouldn't be paying back at the end of the year.
Let's all get married, man. Let's all get married together. You know?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? This is a great time. Okay, I know we're on a Skype call, but Maxwell, Cruise Control, can we symbolically join hands here?
Let's do it.
What are you, a panigamist?
No, listen.
Two niggas at once?
I think all of us, as a sign of solidarity, should get married. All right, in a marriage, a menage a trois.
So we're, in other words, we're panigamists, dude, because we're married to more than one person. So
exactly. No, listen, we will show. It will be a sign of solidarity against the government, all right, and against all those who would oppress. Let's join hands and let's marry each other, okay?
All right, so let's do. All right, so I Cruise Control.
Yeah.
And you.
And me, I am Maxwell Silverhammer.
And you.
I Kraken.
We'll get married at a later date because we're not doing that shit right now. But all we can say is that's the story there, bitches. Fucking crazy ass show. Thanks for coming on, Kraken. Thanks for crashing the party. And stay on after. We'll chat for a couple minutes. And yeah, it's the fucking show. 22nd of January 2017. Go fuck yourselves. Skeetle up, beetle up, biddle eat, bodily.
Eat shit and die.